The following has been brought to you by SJP World Media.
You're listening to In the Corner with BenNy Mac.
Acknowledge me!
Unfiltered.
Your daddy's not here anymore.
Uncensored.
This kid is an absolute piece of... Watch your mouth, Michael Cole!
And unforgiving.
He's on the line. We get that. But you listen to me, and you listen to me good, Mr. Midlife Crisis.
Here's the man in the corner, BenNy Mac.
Finish the story!
18th of June 2024, episode 80 of In the Corner. We'll forget the big gap in the middle, but it is at 80 episodes of In the Corner. Monday Night Raw happened literally last night. I watched it this morning. Wow. Definitely some highs and lows. Mainly highs, I would say. And we got a high on this show today. No, we're not doing mushrooms or anything like that. For the first time in 2 years, Mr NJB, a bit like Seth Rollins, returned on Raw yesterday. He returns to In the Corner. Welcome back to the show, my friend. And it wouldn't be a podcast without any technical difficulties, would it?
I'm only joking. We're here.
You mofo, I tell you. Now I remember why I didn't want you on this damn show anymore. No, I'm joking. How are you, NJB, my friend?
No, I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
Not too bad, man. We were just talking before we came on, obviously, and it has been almost 2 years. I think it was September of 2022. And I need to correct myself from my last episode as well. I said last year's Clash of the Castle. There wasn't one last year. It was 2022 and 2024. So, but either way, your last appearance on this show was Clash of the Castle preview show. So yeah, a lot's changed on this show in a sense of a big gap. No, I'm joking. A lot's changed in WWE though, man. Since we last spoke, Vince McMahon was still in charge when we last smoked? No, we haven't been smoking anything, I swear. God, it's not going very well. Spoke in terms of wrestling and stuff. Obviously, we talk off air and we talk about stuff. But I mean, what are your thoughts on? I've got to ask this actually. To be fair, just without going into too much detail right now, because we're going to go into it, obviously. But what was your thoughts on what just happened on Raw? How do you feel the show is better put together now, or what are your thoughts?
I definitely got caught a lot more, not so much like it was back in the Attitude Era, because obviously they could get away with a lot more back then, but like with some of the language that was able to be used, it did seem to be more tailored for a mid to late teen young adult audience, which I did like, because I like the whole...
Yeah, you're a big Attitude Era fan.
Obviously, I'm a fan of the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression era, so I was not a fan. I've not watched it as much as I used to back in the day, because of their target audience. So yeah, good to see some more young adult themes coming through.
Yeah, but also, I mean, from my own personal standpoint, that's good, actually. That's the most positive I think I've ever heard you talk about WWE in the last 10 years, to be honest. But in terms of what I'm observing, is not only... Yeah, okay, you've got what you've just said. You've got the language, and it's a bit more, a bit more provocative, I guess is the right word. Try saying that 5 times fast. But it's just like even the show flows in a sense of like something we used to have like a build like 5, 6, 7 years ago, and then we wouldn't have anything follow up on that. What built the show up in the beginning, first 15 minutes until right at the end of the show. Whereas now things are happening between different wrestlers, male and female, and it's overlapping other aspects of the show, whether it's backstage or run-ins. Do you know what I mean? I know that run-ins still happened a bit, but they were very predictable. Now, for me personally, I feel like that it's not as predictable as it once was. I'm not going to lie. I still sat there thinking, the Jey Uso match in the qualifier match for the Money in the Bank. I'm thinking Jey Uso is going to win this. But there were times in that match where I think, is he though? We'll get into it, though. So that's interesting, man. That's good. So I'm hoping you'll stick with it. SmackDown's coming up on Friday, man. Give it a go. Obviously, at some point, I'm hoping to get you back on. Trying to get, you're one of the original hosts of this show. You were literally there at the beginning. One thing we did back when you first came on, we did a special where we talked about our top 5 WWE Championships. You remember that?
Yeah.
I want your thoughts on the new belts, and we haven't had them all yet. I don't think. I think we're still waiting. So the new tag team titles, the Raw and SmackDown ones. So the WWE tag titles, and then you've got the World Tag Team Championships, obviously. But what do you think of the new World Heavyweight Championship that Damian Priest is currently holding?
I like it. I mean, obviously, there's huge inspiration from the old WCW World Heavyweight Championship, or the World Heavyweight Championship
100%.
that was originally held by Triple H when it comes to WWE. Love that. I'm not a massive fan, as I think we had a brief discussion in private not too long ago. I'm not a massive fan of having all the belts follow a set pattern, so that there is similarities between the women's championship and the men's championship, and the same with the tag team titles. There's that same template, if you will, for all of them. I'd like to see the belts follow their own sort of style and template to give them more distinction from all the other belts.
No, do you know, I understand where you're coming from. Obviously, it's down to it's for bloody merchandising, isn't it? At the end of the day, that's what it is. Yeah. But I'm glad you like the World Heavyweight belt.
Nice. Don't get me wrong. They do look nice.
Yeah.
But that's just my personal take.
Well, they've also got a women's NXT North American women's champion now, as well as they got a mid-card bout in NXT, as well as the women's bout, NXT Women's Championship. Yeah. You've also got, so maybe that might follow on the main roster. I don't know yet. I love the World Heavyweight Championship bout. Obviously, chucking the big W in the middle of it makes sense. For me, it's a bit weird because when it first got introduced, they kind of said this is a new bout, but as it's gone on, they said it was new, but they've also talked about the lineage of the World Heavyweight Championship bout, which you mentioned about WCW and stuff. But for me, it is a follow-on. It's just reinstated. It's a new look, obviously, but yeah. What do you think of it? Have you seen the US title bout? The new? I don't know. I think that was around when you were doing the show with me. I just wondered what you thought of the belts, really, because of what we talked about a good couple of years ago now.
I can't remember if I've seen the new US title, to be honest.
Oh, well, there's plenty. Well, we'll do a show. Maybe we want to do some extras and stuff. There's plans for this show going forward about being sort of live on Spreaker and stuff like that. But we'll get to that as we go. But yeah, man. So you're not starting fresh, are you? I suppose. Did you watch WrestleMania? Did you see Clash of the Castle?
As I said, I'm a massive fan of back in the day, but I don't watch it as much nowadays. I watch the bits that I'm interested in the pay-per-views, like WrestleMania, for example, with all that. I normally, my stuff that I see from Raw or SmackDown is scrolling through TikTok throughout the week, and I'll see some clips that come up.
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
So that's basically. But I said this was last night, for example, or this morning, whichever way you want to look at it, was the first time I'd actually stayed up and watched. I think I got through about the first hour and a half to 2 hours before I collapsed. So
you actually stayed watching it. It was just pure the fact that tiredness just kicked in, and so the fact that you weren't bored. But that's good. The matches have been really good lately. Clash of the Castle was going to speak about that on a previous episode. There was a couple of obviously, I don't know if you saw I think you did say you saw it. Damian Priest catching his foot in the top rope and could have properly injured himself in that World Heavyweight Championship match. That could have been bad, but luckily he's okay. So we're moving on. He's getting better and better every week, I think. Not that he was bad to begin with, but in terms on the mic, his promo stuff is getting better and better, and he's been given more chances to be on the mic a bit more. Because at first I don't think they thought he was much of a talker, whereas I think everybody now, and I could just be being biased here, but I think everybody, whenever something new is happening, it's not just gone within 2 weeks, or 1 week back in, I've said it before on the show, 7 years ago, we might see something. There was a conversation between two superstars which looked like it was going to be possibly a match next week, and then it's never mentioned again. Whereas with this era now, with Triple H and whoever else is in charge of the creative, the team overall, we're thinking, where's this going? Where's it going? And it's building and building and building. I don't know if you noticed the Otis and Alpha Academy stuff. Obviously, it came to
I saw that. That was quite funny.
Yeah, that came to a head literally on Raw yesterday.
Look, from back in the Ruthless Attack era with Teddy Long, you do not go to a GM and ask for a match with a random opponent, because you're going to get some 6 foot, 7 foot tall guy.
Come on, yeah.
You're going to get your behind absolutely handed to you.
Yeah. Braun Strowman, obviously.
I was just waiting for Teddy Long to come out and go, The Undertaker!
To be honest, I was half expecting Gunther, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. But no. But the story over the last month has been the way Chad Gable's been treating the members of Alpha Academy since he switched from this babyface good guy to the arsehole that he's become. And actually, I think this is more his will. This will get him more opportunities. But he has had 5 opportunities at the Intercontinental Championship now, and is unable to win it.
Yeah, I remember saying that. I was like, how on earth did he get to 5?
Yeah, well, Sammy beat Gunther obviously at WrestleMania, and then Sammy's had a couple of defenses against him. Then after he defended it the first time, Chad Gable attacked him in Montreal in front of his family. So it's just been escalated. It's escalated. And that's what I mean. It's not just like a one and done.
So it's gone from like professional ranking, and then it's gone to a personal
aspect. Exactly. Okay, yeah. So this is why I'm hoping you'll continue watching a little bit more and be a bit more interested, because SmackDown is on Friday. It's an hour and a half, mate. The stuff going on over there with the blood. We'll get into that another time. But the Bloodline stuff is really good.
Is SmackDown still only an hour and a half, is it?
Yes, it's not as long as Raw.
I thought they were still like all 3-hour shows.
No.
That was one thing that I mean, obviously back in the day, it was like Raw and SmackDown were both like 2-hour shows, or I suppose really.
Well, I suppose technically, technically it is 2 hours, but obviously without adverts, it's about an hour and a half, give or take.
Yeah,
so.
and I remember, didn't they like increase them to both like 3-hour shows at one point?
I think they did specials. I think, but Raw ended up staying, didn't it? But obviously Raw's going on Netflix in January, so that's going to be interesting. Also on that, actually, very quickly, Triple H has said when Raw goes on Netflix, 80% of the world will have access to all the WWE content via Netflix. And that includes the UK. So WWE Network will be gone.
WWE library go into Netflix. That'd be really cool,
mate. There's rumours of an ECW show on Netflix as well. Whether that's true at the moment will remain to be seen. If Raw goes over,
I think that could be a really dangerous thing to do. Don't get me wrong; it could be good, but I think that obviously, with how more careful they have to be with stunts that they can get away with, and rightly so, in taking the wrestler safety and well-being into account, like they really should have back then as well, for being brutally honest.
Yeah.
But I mean, calling it ECW, I think if they did do that, I don't think they'd be learning from past mistakes. Let's put it that way.
It depends on how they're going to present it, isn't it? But yeah, it didn't do. I mean, the one night stand, whatever one night stand they did was amazing. Reunion show was quality, but past that,
that was more loyal to what ECW was.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But we'll see. Well, there's rumours flying around. Whether it's true is another thing. We'll keep an eye on it. Netflix, I can't wait for it to come on Netflix. I think, to be honest with you, once the Fox deal runs out with SmackDown, quite possibly we're going to see SmackDown on Netflix, so the whole lot is going to be on. Netflix.
So it's just Raw going to Netflix
at the moment, yeah, with the back catalogue of.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And apparently it's going to be live streamed on Netflix as well, not just like it is on USA now. It's live stream basically, mate. We got so much.
Netflix has been getting into more live streaming events.
Yes, they are. Yeah,
over the last few years or so.
Yeah. So I mean, we got so much to catch up on this show. You've not been on for 2 years.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we move on to Raw, let's get on with it. You can. We set up a WhatsApp community now. If you want to join that, you can. You can send us little voice notes. What's going on in Raw, just general chat. In general, the link for that is below this podcast, or you can go to on X. I keep wanting to say Twitter, but at X or on Twitter at InTheCorner WWE. I keep calling it Twitter. I can't help it. I just freaking can't help it. But you know what I mean, ladies and gents. So at InTheCorner WWE on the end. But yeah, you can join the WhatsApp group, leave some voice notes, check us out some, and what you think is going on in the current WWE. But all the links will be below in this podcast description. So. Mate, we started off the show on Raw. I was not my brain didn't compute who this was for about 3 seconds. And Seth Rollins' music came on. I was like, oh my God, and Seth hasn't been seen since WrestleMania.
I should have idea you were sat there going, who the freaking hell is this? Oh, yeah, right.
Who the freak? Oh, it's Seth freaking... That would be freaking awesome. No pun intended.
No pun intended there,
That
yeah.
actually wasn't. But it was so cool to see him back. He lost the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania.
That he has built into the working man's
he held it.
championship. Although saying that, Cody Rhodes is obviously getting that a little bit back with the Universal Championship. Is it still the Universal Championship?
It's up until recently, it was the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. It's the Undisputed WWE Championship now. That's all they say. I'm waiting.
How can it be an Undisputed Championship when there's two champions?
Yeah, but it merged two belts together. That's why. That's why they're going back to WWE.
Okay.
It'll drop it eventually. I'm assuming. Maybe after Money in the Bank. I don't know. I'm still waiting for the Cody Rhodes belt to be dropped. Like the old school WWE Championship to be sort of American nightmareized, if that's a word. But I'm waiting.
They need to stop doing that. I don't like.
Yeah, but I want to see a classic bout, mate. The Winged Eagle, mate. If he brings the Winged Eagle back, even if it's not necessarily themed to him.
Oh yeah. That'd be cool. Like go back to obviously. I don't like it. I wasn't so much. I did like it to begin with, but when you had like Cena,
knew you were gonna
Edge,
go there.
all having their all like custom made World Heavyweight Championships and title belts and all this, that, and the other, it was just like it takes away from the title, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I get it.
How good they did with their individual title runs, just keep it as the thing. Just keep the lineage as it is.
I would like if he brings just the Winged Eagle back in a modern version of it. Then I'm happy.
Yeah,
I'd be happy with that.
That would be okay. That'd be cool because that is a very, very popular belt, if I do remember correctly.
Which is your favourite on that? We did talk about this before, but is it the smaller one or the bigger one? The Austin sort of
the bigger one. So it was the one that I think it was the Big Eagle one, which was handed to Austin after WrestleMania 14
when he beat Michaels. Yeah, when he beat Michaels. Yeah. So okay, cool. Yeah, mine too. Seth Rollins made his return. Obviously, it's weird for you, Nick, because. For you, it's probably like, oh, Seth Rollins. But for me, it's like, oh my God, Seth Rollins is back. Yeah. Exactly so different vibes going on there. But I liked the fact that Seth came out and said, he basically saying, I want my title back, laying out his mission statement. He must be cleared. He must be healthy because I believe he had to have an operation after Mania. I could be wrong, but he definitely had some sort of niggling injury, so he needed some time off. And for him, that's why, I don't know if you've seen the footage from WrestleMania, but from another fans' point of view, Seth's run to the ring, unfortunately, was not good because he could barely move, but yet he still went out there.
I love that whole segment. Obviously, we all have, as much as I love The Undertaker,
everybody wanted Austin.
But anyway, I think everyone would probably say that. No disrespect to Taker, obviously. But,
no, it was still a cool moment, though.
Seth getting in there, I mean, obviously, I know that he was in a big match earlier on the night, or was it the night before?
No, as well. So night one, Cody and Seth teamed up against Roman and Rock.
To set the rules, didn't they? That's right.
Then his match was the start of the show, defending it against Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, it did look when he got into that ring. It did look like the crowd had to body surf him down to the ring because he just looked absolutely broken.
Yeah, he did. Fair play to him for getting in the ring as well. And that storytelling for Roman hitting him in the back with a chair, 10 years in the making, mate. From the Shield days is, this is why I love WWE. They might mention a comment. I mean, at the start of the show, we have some classic, more up to date little moments from wrestling now. But like Roman saying, your daddy's not here anymore to Austin Theory because when Vince got let go and stuff like that. So the history. I mean, we can sit there as older fans and somebody might reference something from 5-10 years ago, and we'll be like, oh damn, So I love that. I think I've said it.
That was the worst Ron Simmons impression ever, by the way.
Damn!
That was better.
No, thank you. I get what I was saying. So Seth Rollins is back, ladies and gents. He's laying out his mission statement. He's actually said he wanted to compete in Money in the Bank, which I was like, okay, cool. Damian Priest comes out, gets in. It doesn't really get in his face as such, but as a sort of have a pop of him, but says, I wanted to beat you at WrestleMania. I wanted to cash in on you, Seth. And Damian Priest, do you know what? Actually kind of being a fighting champion here, which is a bit confusing when he's meant to be the heel.
Part of a heel group,
yeah. But basically offering Seth a match, and it looks like in a couple of weeks' time we are going to have, it's been made official by what I understand, Seth will be taking on Damian Priest. Me personally, I have no issue with this. Seth lost the title at WrestleMania. Obviously had to go away. Yes, he got cash in on Drew McIntyre, held it for 5 minutes and something seconds. Damien's had pretty good matches since he's been champion. I would say the match he just had at Clash of the Castle against Drew was the better one of the two. No offense to the others, but I think that was just the better one. But I have no issue, me personally, I don't know about you, Nick. I have no issue with Seth essentially getting his rematch that he never got.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I miss the days whereby you would come out on Raw and whoever, if the champion lost, they would say, I am exercising my rematch clause right now or at the next pay-per-view or whatever.
Yeah, one of my favourites, actually, so simple, WrestleMania 23, Undertaker beats Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship. The next time they are, I think it was obviously SmackDown, Undertaker's in the ring doing his bit of celebration, essentially. Batista's music hits, he comes out, walks straight up to Taker, music stops, he goes, congratulations, I want my rematch. Microphone down, leaves. I'm like, okay, let's go. And I miss those. I miss that. We are starting to see a bit more of it with stuff like Chad Gable having so many opportunities and Adam Pearce telling him on Raw this week, no, you got to go to the back of the line. You've had your opportunity. You couldn't quite get it done. Next. Opportunities. What did you say?
Yeah. Opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So it's so cool to see Seth Rollins back. I'm actually quite buzzing for the Seth. I don't know how this is going to go down, to be honest with you, but that'll obviously we've got a couple of weeks before Money in the Bank. I believe it's in 2 weeks from Saturday, I believe. And I think it's going to be in Canada, I believe. I need to check on this. Obviously, we'll talk about it as we go along. Anything off? I'm going to let you choose now, mate, where you want to go next with the conversation. Like anything on the show that, apart from what happened at the very end of the show, anything else on the show that jumped out at you, someone who has not watched it consistently?
I'm just liking the stuff that they're doing with the I almost said New Day then, Judgment Day. I'm really liking this stuff because obviously I've always looked, whenever I've looked at the Judgment Day, especially after they took Edge away from it, I always thought or had the impression that Finn was the quote unquote leader of the faction. But obviously now that Priest is obviously the World Heavyweight Champion, obviously now it does its thing because they seem to be coexisting quite well at the moment. But obviously with Finn, I think he's got a triple threat match next week, if I'm not mistaken, or on SmackDown to potentially be in the Money in the Bank tournament.
No, that was on Raw, mate. You must have misremembered. That was on Raw.
I must be mistaken one of the opponents then, because isn't it Braun, Gable, and somebody else? Next
week, yeah, that's next week's show, mate. Yeah, that's next week.
Ah, right. Okay,
yeah, no, it was.
Yeah, but I'm just really liking the. I'm surprised that it's going over as smooth as it is right now, because I wouldn't have thought Finn would have liked to have let go of the reins. That's the take I got from it anyway.
Yeah, well, there's a bit of Rhea Ripley. I wouldn't say there was a leader, but if there was a leader,
actually, yeah,
Rhea Ripley, I think was more like she was the one that sort of told him what's for, like being the mummy as she was the thing. The Liv Morgan stuff and Dominic Mysterio stuff has been playing out for a good couple of weeks now, and it's so fucking interesting. It's also interesting that because I missed that last week. I didn't even see that. But Finn taking the card when they were all taking the hotel. So I'm wondering, because we're also starting to see at the moment the interactions between Damien and Finn. There was a little bit on Raw where Finn was almost seemed like a bit annoyed, and he was like, "Don't accuse." And I'm wondering, even though Liv is looking like she's chasing after Dom, I wonder if there's something going on potentially now with Finn and Liv in the background.
Maybe Finn was the one that gave her Dom's jacket.
Quite possibly. That's what I was thinking. You thought the same as me. I was honestly thought that as well. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about with the stories on Raw and stuff and SmackDown. It's not just... It doesn't feel like filler anymore, backstage interviews, because, I mean, you weren't watching, but I think 3 weeks ago, maybe 2, there was a bit where there was an interview going on. Down in the distance down the corridor, we saw Liv Morgan come out of this side corridor and walk up away from the camera further down. Less than 20 seconds later, we saw Dominic Mysterio appearing from that same corridor where Liv Morgan just was. And it's like building up the little Easter eggs. You can call them Easter eggs if you want, but it's building up the universe, no pun intended, as I've said many times now. The stories going on. So when somebody has an argument in ring and then we go to a break and we come back and there might be an interview backstage, sometimes we've seen those two wrestlers arguing backstage but not engaging with it. It's just there happening as if it's, again, filling out the universe. So which is stuff I remember watching around the Attitude Era. Every match had its purpose. But then every now and again things would bleed out or bleed over, and that person might be involved in that briefly, or rather than just this is this segment now in a confined. How can I put it? Matches about 5, 6, 7 years ago, everything felt closed off to everything else, whereas now it feels like it genuinely feels
so it was like you'd have a segment backstage. It would seem like the whole rest of the backstage area would freeze, do this segment, and then carry on as normal. Yeah,
so it didn't fit. It just felt very lifeless, almost, is the best way I can come out with it. But now, not every match feels like it's in one section or a chapter. It feels like at any point somebody could come out and start a brawl because of something else, or this person might be having a match with this person, but they're actually involved with maybe the Intercontinental Championship. It just feels like there's a lot more effort going into the production and storytelling. I've said it so many times.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just my... Seth Rollins, so the Judgment Day, so we'll talk about that. We might also talk about the men's Money in the Bank qualifying match. So it was Jey Uso versus Finn versus Rey Mysterio, mate. I will forgive you.
I've confused Finn with somebody else.
They were advertising it's not, so there will be some qualifying matches on SmackDown. We don't know what they are yet. And next week there's going to be another triple threat to get the other person on Raw, because it's 3 from each brand.
Yeah.
So at the moment we've got Jey Uso who qualified. Good triple threat match. Again, Dominic Mysterio trying to screw over his dad, and then all that kicking off basically. And then the coup de grace delivered by Finn Balor hits Rey Mysterio as Finn goes for the cover. The Uso splash from the top rope.
Uso splash from Jey. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. In my head, mate, at the moment as I sit here right now, and I thought this before they even announced it. When he first announced it, I feel like Jey Uso is the person to be Mr. Money in the Bank this year. Go on.
I still want to see LA Knight get another push for the main title.
Yeah, there's still other ways to get there.
I don't know. This is the first time I watched Raw in ages, but I remember back. Was it SummerSlam that he got the shot against Reigns? Like last year? I can't remember when it was that LA Knight got the shot.
Was it SummerSlam or was it Crown Jewel?
Crown Jewel,
yeah. It was good. It didn't quite deliver in terms of overall, I don't think, but it was still a good match. So, but yeah, at the moment he's actually in a rivalry with Logan Paul over on SmackDown. So again, Logan Paul is still your US champion. So I think he's going to get more of a run at a mid card. Nothing against that. The US title is very prestigious, very much like the Intercontinental Championship. It's a very prestigious bout. So many Hall of Famers have held the US title. So it would be cool. I want to see I'm with you. I want to see a bout on LA Knight fairly soon.
Definitely.
And if he's the guy to dethrone Logan Paul, absolutely. To say what you want about Logan Paul, I don't know how many matches you've seen of him.
No, I was. I'm not a big fan of bring celebrities into the program. Yeah, by all means, because that, like I said, that just generates more fans. But when they put celebrities into the ring, it can be quite detrimental, especially putting a title on one. But in all fairness to Logan Paul, some of the stuff that he's been doing has been amazing. I'll never forget that thing. I think it was in the Royal Rumble with him and Ricochet both springboarding off. So that was such a cool spot.
Well, speaking of Ricochet, very quickly, we'll segue in because I know you got a limited time with me today. The Ricochet getting attacked last week by Braun Breaker. Did you catch the video footage of that?
I've seen clips of it. I've heard that that's his last appearance for WWE. I heard he wasn't renewing his contract or something.
Apparently so.
I don't know how true this is, but
apparently so. The way he long darted him into that truck reminded me of Kevin Nash and Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
But when he hit the floor, man, I don't know if you go back and watch when you get a chance. And he hit the floor hard, and I was like, damn, man. But if that is his last time, fair play to him for putting. Braun Breaker doesn't need that much help because he's a bloody monster in itself, but fair play to him for putting Breaker over in that sense and making him more of a monster than he already is and that animal that he kind of is. But hopefully it's not. But actually, I think maybe a bit of time away to reset. Maybe I hope he doesn't go to AEW. I hope he comes back to WWE.
I did read that. Obviously, that there'll be an offer from AEW if it is.
If that is true, yes, of course, yeah.
You'll definitely get an offer from them.
Well, something you might not be aware of, there seems to be a very good working relationship between TNA and WWE at the moment. So,
it seems like there's always been that relationship, a bit like like what Vince McMahon had with Paul Heyman during the original ECW days.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, years ago, I mean, I remember, as I said, I didn't used to watch it much over the last years, like the weekly shows at least anyway, but me and you always used to try and watch the Rumble at least, and like the main, like the big 4 pay-per-views. And I remember years ago when Mickie James appeared in the Rumble whilst holding the TNA Women's Championship, and then didn't the current TNA Women's Champion appear on the recent, on this year's Royal Rumble, if I'm not mistaken?
She did, yeah. She also just appeared on NXT for a shot against the NXT Women's Champion. I don't watch NXT, so I'm blanking names. So I apologise to people that are screaming at the radio now or whatever you're listening to us on. I need to get more into it because I know Cody Rhodes has been making appearances down there and there's stuff going on down there. But yeah, the current TNA Knockouts champion. She came over. I can't remember her name. That's really bad. But she was in the Rumble. You're correct.
Yeah,
and she had
because they're expecting a few more. They're expecting a few more TNA crossovers, aren't they? Because isn't there some sort of like battle royal for the number 1 contendership for the NXT title on Wednesday night?
Well, yeah,
it's still on Wednesday night. That is.
NXT's Tuesday now. It's weird.
Is it Tuesday now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
they change all the time.
They change all the time. Just trying to find out a freaking name. I'm terrible with names because I don't watch. I've only been watching TNA a little bit recently. Jordan Grace. There you go. Can't remember her name. Hard to kill. Yeah. So yeah, she came over to face off against the NXT Women's Champion. Didn't win, but it's good exposure for these wrestlers to come over and make appearances. Joe Hendry is a popular one at the moment, which I've talked to you about off air. How the heck he got his entrance theme into the UK charts, I have no idea, but he did. There was a lot of speculation about him making an appearance at Clash of the Castle, which obviously didn't happen. But if he does come to WWE, I think he'll be more NXT than.
I think it is Pat McAfee. Is it him that's the co-commentator with Michael Cole or
on Raw? Yeah. No, that's fine.
Yeah. So I remember I can't remember who it was doing a promo last week. I think it was last week anyway, and basically was calling somebody out by name, and I think it was Pat said, "Say his name and he will appear."
Yeah, there was.
Isn't that part? Isn't that a line in that guy's intro or something like that?
Say his name and he'll appear. I believe in Joe Hendry. I'm not going to try and sing it because as much as I annoy my other half with it. Roxanne Perez is the NXT Women's Champion. My apologies for people. I need to get back into NXT. I got out of NXT when it turned over to that 2.0 and that, but the original sort of era of NXT from about 2015.
You loved NXT, the original version of it.
NXT from about 2014, 2015 up to about 2019 I was watching. And when it changed over to this 2.0 and I read that Triple H was no longer in charge, I know he had some health issues and stuff, but...
Isn't it Sean in charge of this version?
Yeah, man, it's weird. I'm not gonna lie. It's been good. The matches I have seen have been really good. You don't have a NXT Tag Team Champions Women's Division anymore. They merged those with the Women's Tag Team Championships across all 3 brands now. They were united.
Oh, that's interesting.
Unified. So a while back. So. Let's just quickly go through a couple. So we had the qualifying match, I've already said. We also had a women's Money in the Bank qualifying match. Io Sky, Kiana James, who's just come out from NXT, and Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega looked really good in this match. I don't know if you saw this match, Nick, but
yes, I did.
I was really because she's never been bad. It's just a case. I don't think we've had much opportunity to see her wrestle. So in this triple threat, I feel like she was. I thought she was going to win it. To be honest with you, I'm not going to lie. She was doing really well, and the stuff I saw her do was really good. But we had last year's winner of the Women's Money in the Bank, Io Sky, is qualified.
Yeah, I remember they say Io Sky won it last year. Yeah.
I'm wondering if she's going to be a... I mean, we don't know the full field yet. We've still got, like I said, we've still got 2 men from Raw and 2 men from Raw as well. 2 women from Raw, sorry. And then obviously we've still got to find out who the 3... from SmackDown are. Yeah, so there's a lot going on there, to be fair. I don't know if did you see Carlito versus Dragon Lee? Were you aware that Carlito was back, or?
I remember seeing clips of him with the LWO. I didn't know he was now pals with the Judgment Day.
he attacked Dragon Lee right before WrestleMania, I think, in hopes to get the team with Ray at WrestleMania. But Andrade is back in WWE. But I remember him as Andre now. Cien Almas. He was in NXT anyway at the time. He was as Lena Vega back in the day. He's actually married to Charlotte Flair in real life, Andrade, now. But,
Sorry,
yeah,
I know it.
I could tell you couldn't remember. But he ultimately attacked Dragon Lee and made out that he didn't do it. And then CCTV footage came out not long ago, and he was the one who actually attacked Dragon Lee. And then he got drafted to Raw with LWO, because technically he was still part of the LWO. But then he's literally sought refuge with the Judgment Day, and he's kind of like an initiate with Judgment Day at the moment. So
he's Judgment Day's version of what's his name? Sami Zayn for the Bloodline.
A bit of a prospect type thing, whatever you want to call it, in a motorcycle gang.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker versus Sheamus I was there for that match. I don't know if you was at the beginning.
Yeah, that was a physical match. It was always going to be, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Braun Breaker won in a Intercontinental Championship match. Then Sheamus music come on. I was like, yeah, fella, fight night. Hear him, Pat McAfee, do the fight night thing again. It's a while since he's done that. Fight night, baby. I love it. He does it a lot better, obviously. Hence why I'm not working there. That's not the only reason, but it's one of many. That was cool. Ended up being a disqualification. Ludwig Kaiser from Imperium attacking Sheamus again. There's a bit of a rivalry building up there. I wonder if we're going to end up with a Sheamus, Braun Breaker, Ludwig Kaiser fatal four-way for the IC title at Money in the Bank, maybe. So Sammy's got to defend it against three of them. That'd be quite interesting. We've already mentioned Braun and stuff. We're going to mention the main thing in a minute, which is obviously Uncle Howdy, but I want to get into this quickly because it links into a lot of Money in the Bank theories I have. Drew McIntyre came to the ring. He got screwed at Clash of the Castle.
Did not like this.
He'd rather go... he just said, screw the company, I quit. McIntyre then walked out. Pierce tries to stop him. Paul Levesque tries to stop him, a.k.a. Triple H. Apparently during the show he has deactivated all his social medias. I checked earlier at the time of this recording. None of his social medias are active. This is not a genuine quit as far as I'm concerned.
No chance.
No.
Absolutely no chance.
Because apparently Punk is going to be on SmackDown even though he's a Raw guy. Technically he's injured, so I can just about allow it. I hate the fact that when they do brand splits and then they start appearing on other shows. Don't fucking bother with the brand split. But because he's injured, I'm going to play devil's advocate and go, he's injured, so technically he's not active, so technically he can go where he wants within reason. He's expected to announce on Friday that he is now cleared, he can now wrestle. I think CM Punk will enter the Money in the Bank tournament. He'll ultimately end up in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I still think Jey Uso is going to win the Money in the Bank ladder match. I think we're going to see what you said about LA Knight, Nick. I think LA Knight's going to go on and be US champion. So let's assume all this goes together. I don't know who else in the Money in the Bank. Let's assume CM Punk enters. I think Drew McIntyre will reappear in a couple of weeks' time at Money in the Bank and screw. It will look like CM Punk's about to become Mr. Money in the Bank, and Drew McIntyre will then cost CM Punk the Money in the Bank briefcase, which then will lead to what I've said before, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I can see that. I think that's a fairly fair shout, given what's transpired between Punk and Drew over like WrestleMania, and as you said, with Clash of the Castle. Sorry. So yeah, it does look like all those. I just don't like the way that they've done that with like him just walking out and quitting. It from the way I was reading it, just like he's just like gotten fed up with it, thrown his toys out the pram and just walked out and gone home.
But actually, that actually sits in quite well with his character over the last month or two. But I understand. I would have actually been more. I mean, maybe have him get arsey at the referee or something, or maybe like throw his toys out the pram backstage, beat up some people and maybe get suspended. But they've done that so many times as well.
That would have been better, yeah. That would have been a good way of going about it if they wanted to do it this way.
But if I don't think either of us are, based on what Hal was talking about. But ultimately, Drew McIntyre has quit, in air quotes, WWE. But like I said, I think Money in the Bank, we are going to see Punk almost win the Money in the Bank briefcase, unless we could go a completely different direction here. While Punk is back on SmackDown, announcing he is now fit and able to start wrestling on Monday on Raw. Because Drew McIntyre has quit, maybe he invades SmackDown and jumps the barrier and attacks CM Punk, maybe. So there's so many ways you could go with this, really. But ultimately, I think...
If they wanted to try and really sell it, have him appear on TNA.
Do you know what? The relationship they have, that would be fucking amazing. That would be absolutely... That's a really good call, Nick. I actually... That's a really good call. Yeah, Money in the Bank is... I'm looking forward to it. We've already got the World Heavyweight Championship. We know that's going to be on the line. Obviously, we're building up to... I'm going to assume LA Knight may be challenging for the US title at Money in the Bank against Logan Paul. The way it's been playing out. But again, the way they do it now, man, you don't just have like, I hate you, let's have a match at the pay-per-view, which is tomorrow. We actually have like a slow build with these things, and some of them are really good, and matches end up being, because it takes time. Oh, look at Cody's story. I mean, that's 2 years, maybe that's a bit, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, instead of just going, oh, I hate you, and it happens to be Friday before the pay-per-view. Oh, I hate you. You really annoy me. Let's have a match at SummerSlam. What's actually on the line here? What's actually been... Do you know what I mean? You need that personal... Yeah. You need that... Not just a title. You need that personal stuff, don't you?
Personal angle.
Yeah, and all right. Some of the title is a title, but you still need that personal angle. There's some interesting stuff. I want to mention this before we move on to the main bit, but I don't know if you saw it, but Karrion Kross issued a challenge to either Kofi or Xavier Woods from New Day.
Yeah.
They cut to...
Yes, I did see that.
You did see it. So they cut to Kofi and Xavier. And when Kofi leans forward and says, I will answer the challenge, essentially, did you see Xavier Woods' face by any chance?
Yeah, it was all... Even the graphics had come up, because it was like... The graphic colour, it was like Kofi Kingston. It came up with Kofi Kingston's name in big lettering, and yet underneath you had with Xavier Woods and SWAT. I was like, well, hang on a minute, it's Xavier Woods that's been referenced by Cross. So why is?
So and also,
I just thought that very weird.
And they normally dress very colourful, don't they? Because they're the New Day. They normally got their bright T-shirts on.
That was a good. He had a black.
He had his black shirt on as well. So, I think we are. I mean, Big E, by the sounds of it, can't wrestle again after his accident and after his neck injury.
No, I didn't know that.
Whether that's again, I don't know whether it seems that way. He's doing pre-show. He's doing pre-shows and stuff now, so it seems that way. But you never know. Give it time to heal. You know, we saw Edge come back, didn't we? So you never know.
Daniel Bryan,
exactly, and Paige as well.
Yeah.
So you never know. Hopefully, but that seems to be the gist they're going for, mate, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
he was champion at the time, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't champion at the time, I don't think, but he had a really good run. It was just after, yeah. It was a really good run he had. But I'm glad I'm not the only one who picked up on that. So, yeah, it said... I saw that, because I saw that first, it said Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods.
Yeah, it was very weird.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck?
I mean, they're still like classes like the New Day, so surely it should have been both of them, Kofi Kingston or Xavier Woods and the other one, whichever way you want to go with it.
This is what I'm saying about laying the foundations. We've both noticed it. I'm sure others have as well. Xavier Woods, if you didn't notice that, the Xavier Woods' face when Kofi said, and then he tried to act like he was okay with it, didn't he? It wasn't like overacted, but it was very subtle, but you could tell he was a bit annoyed by the fact that Kofi stepped forward and said, I'm going to take you on next week. So it's going to be very interesting how this plays out. Very much like I've already said on the last show I did, but which came out yesterday, I think. But the pardon me, I say yesterday, by the way. I think the show comes out Wednesday now, so it's actually Tuesday as we record it. Either way, you get my point. That when Randy looked, I don't know if you noticed that after Clash of the Castle, Randy, when he come out to help with Kevin Owens, help Cody with the Bloodline. The new Bloodline.
Yeah, he was staring down that title, wasn't he?
He was like a dog with a bone, wasn't he? Like, give me that fucking treat, like, you know, that's what he looked like. He was almost salivating over it, and I'm like, here we go. And there's been long time speculation with that, but yeah, I'm glad you picked up on it. But something I didn't pick up on, that I saw on social media during the show, and during, I think one of the segments was Drew McIntyre quitting, air quotes. Apparently, you could see Uncle Howdy up in the rafters. If you look carefully, apparently a few times he appeared in different areas of the arena.
Going and checking that.
Yeah, so I didn't see it personally, but according to social media, that did happen. Now, I know a few weeks ago, as the show opened, one of the lights panned across, and Uncle Howdy was just stood there in the crowd. And it didn't seem like nobody noticed. apart from I didn't notice it. Again, it was pointed out. Let's get on to it, man, before you go, because I know you ain't got a lot of time. Uncle Howdy, the Wyatt Six, Sister Abigail, Mercy, I can't remember the other pig's name, but like all these things, mate. The way this happened, I mean, I was expecting it. I didn't know Sister Abigail crawling out towards the lantern, which I thought was very cool. AKA, I think that is Nikki Cross.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's Nikki
I thought
Cross.
It was.
I'm not sure who the others are. I did read some rumours. Until I actually see their faces, I'm not gonna.
I'm fairly certain Rowan will be one of them.
Rowan is definitely one of them. He was on with the.
I did see. I saw a photo of the other. I saw a photo of all of them. The only one that still had their mask on was Howdy, and I recognised Nikki. I recognised Rowan, obviously, but I didn't recognise the other two. So. Yeah, I know three of the five, so...
Uncle Howdy will be, obviously, I assume will be Bo Dallas. So, yeah. Eric Rowan is definitely one of them, because you can see the ginger beard underneath that rabbit face.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who Mercy is, which is like the bird sort of face with the dreadlocks, which I thought looked really cool, by the way. All this looked really cool.
Because that's another thing, going back to what I was saying earlier about it being more like adult, young adultish themed. Like with everyone being like completely obliterated, it looked like the scene from like a low budget horror movie or something.
It did, no, 100%.
You had oh come on,
Chad Gable was down. One of them.
Chad Gable, thank you, bleeding. Yeah, you had like blood smears here and or what?
Do you see that blood splatter on the wall behind one of them?
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
yeah. Then you had other people laid out left, right, and center.
The smoke was
so it did look really good.
Yeah. So on our Monday show, I said, I don't think it's meant to be supernatural. I think it's more like a cult type thing, which it is. But there is, to me, there at least based on the debut, there is a supernatural-esque element to it, isn't there?
Yeah, of course there is.
There definitely.
Those sorts of characters.
All right, then. Well, we've kind of talked. I'm excited about it. I smiled. I love the way that Bo reached for the lantern. Is almost like being passing the torch, no pun intended, from Bray.
Yeah.
Having Eric Rowan back in the group, one of the original Wyatt members. Obviously, Luke Harper unfortunately passed away a fair few years ago.
That was almost as surprising as
Bray,
Bray's passing. It was such a sad moment.
What did you think of this? And two, what do you hope we get from this Wyatt Six Uncle Howdy group?
It was definitely intriguing. Like you say, it was very interesting. I remember when Bray made his return, and you had all the different characters scattered around the arena in the crowd at the time. I can't remember what pay-per-view it was at, and he walks through the door at the end and blows the lantern out.
Extreme Rules, one of my favourite bloody re-debuts or comeback, whatever you want to call it. One of my favourites.
But they just didn't seem to build on that very much from what I can remember. I remember him having a match with... who's he? And then Uncle Howdy did like a dive off of the top of something.
The pitch black match. Yeah, the pitch black match was. Yeah, but unfortunately,
Anyway, they built it up with this big return of all five of them. I just hope they just keep building on it now, and
I think
don't let it go too long before adding to it.
Yeah, I think with the way they've done it has been brilliant. Really leading up to all this. We're going to see more and more, aren't we, of this as we go along?
Yeah.
But obviously, this is the sort of debut. I don't know. I don't get the feeling one of them was Alexa Bliss. I could be wrong. Obviously, that is.
No, I did when I saw the woman crawling. I didn't think, could that be Alexa? And I could tell from the. It was too not skinny enough to be. Alexa Bliss. Then I saw the hair. I thought, that's got to be Nikki Cross.
Mate, the way the smile and the way they've done those prosthetics and stuff, and the teeth and everything.
And then I saw that photo that I mentioned earlier. And I thought, that's definitely. I thought it was.
Mate, honestly,
it's definitely an interesting group. They can take this so many different ways. It's because the next question is, who will they be first feuding against? That'll be really interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting because they didn't actually. Well, I mean, they attacked most of the locker room by the looks of it.
Well, so it's like
everybody's going to be scared. But who do they target first and why? Now, these are like people. One of them is meant to be Dexter Lumis, who we haven't seen on TV for about a year, and who I understand is still under contract with WWE as well. So
Let me just see.
I'm just going to quickly go to WhatsApp. So the WhatsApp community page is set up. It's on, if you go to X, at InTheCorner WWE, or you can just follow the link underneath this episode, which they will be under subsequent episodes. I asked the question in the general, what do we all think of Raw? What do you think is going on? In the who do you think is going to? Who do we think is going to be the women's and men's Money in the Bank winners this year? Sean King's Pigs Bladders on Twitter says Jey Uso got to be the favourite for men's women's. I can see Jade Cargill. That's a good shout. But hoping it's Piper Niven. He wants Piper Niven to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. And he absolutely said the Uncle Howdy segment to close Raw was great, really atmospheric. So if you want to send messages, you can. WhatsApp link below in the description of the podcast. And obviously, as we go along this show, like I said, will be live. But if you join the community on WhatsApp, we will. I will put in the announcements when those shows are going to be live and stuff. So, but just stay tuned. Thank you, Pigs Bladder, for that. Nick, what were you going to say, bud? Before we go,
I was talking about that Dexter Lewis. I've looked at it. It could be, like I said, I saw that photo of the 5 of them with only Uncle Howdy keeping his mask on.
Yeah,
he could have been one of them. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm not.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not over. I mean, I'll do some research for the next episode, obviously. But I'm looking forward to it. Like yourself, even though I kept more of an eye on it than yourself, I suppose. But I'm still getting back into watching it, even though I haven't, as in weekly shows. Because obviously for this podcast, I watched everything Raw and SmackDown every week to then obviously talk about it on the show. The last month or two, I've watched the odd episode here and there, so I'm kind of getting back into it a little bit. But what I'm seeing is it's nice to have a break sometime, mate, to be honest. And I'm hoping, like yourself, like I've already said, like maybe you'll get into it. Money in the Bank is on Saturday, the 6th of July, 2024, obviously. So we haven't got long to wait for 2 weeks. Yeah, or was it 2 weeks from Saturday? So I'm looking forward to it. So I'm looking forward to seeing who then qualifies for each match and who's going to be in it. I'm still going to stand by my Drew McIntyre CM Punk prediction. Obviously,
that sounds a fair shout. I'd be very surprised if that didn't
hopefully, mate,
transpire.
Yeah, hopefully, mate, we can get you on and do some pre-show stuff, prediction stuff maybe as well if you're around. Obviously, when you're around, you're around. I'm hoping to get co-hosts on every now and again, like I said. But I'm just going to try and pump out the shows as best I can, even if I'm by myself. It's just I like having somebody else to chat to about it because I think the show flows better. That's all. And somebody can stop me from waffling. Oh man, Nick, it's great to talk to you, man. Hopefully we can have you on the show again very soon, bud.
Yeah, glad to be back.
Right, so yeah, SmackDown Friday. I'm hoping to get another episode out the weekend. We'll do some SmackDown. I'm going to try, like I said before, I will get at least one episode out every Wednesday minimum. That is the goal. I was going to say, do you want to tell us where you are, Nick, on social media? You haven't got a Twitter or anything, have you?
Oh, you mean an X? No.
Well, get on it, mate. NJB back after 2 years. Nick, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening to the show, downloading. This is obviously SJP World Media. This is In the Corner. And we will see you again very soon. Cheers, Nick.
Thank you.